Hello, and welcome. I'm so glad that you're here today. And we're just going to give a minute or so as this starts to get out there and people start finding us. So, I just want to give you a nice warm welcome. This is Adoption Didn't Break You. Stop Your Past from Being Your Future. So, welcome everyone. So glad that you're here with me today. And even if you're watching this on the replay, if you watch this in its entirety, you will receive the same transformational experience as if you had watched it live. That's one of the beautiful things about the process that I share here on YouTube is it doesn't matter whether it's live or it's recorded, it still has the same impact for you, whether you're watching it live or on the replay. So, very excited that you're here. And I'm just going to be kind of checking in. I've got my notes here. Excellent. All right. So, if you'd like to introduce yourself in the chat, if you're here live with me today, then go ahead and step in and say hi, where you're from. And if you prefer to stay anonymous, that is fine as well. You're welcome to just watch and enjoy the workshop as it is. So thank you so much for being here. I'm really, really glad that you decided to join me today. So this presentation is for you if you are searching for relief from your pain of adoption. If you're an adoptee who's wanting to know the truth of who you really are, and you're open to creating a new paradigm for yourself through this discovery and embracing of yourself. The work that I do with clients is really about the inner work. This is about going into who you are and giving yourself a different perspective than you would find in a lot of therapy or counseling type experiences. So this presentation is unique and revolutionary, and it may contain views which contradict much of what you have been told about others regarding adoption and trauma. Now, if you're ready to step into being a powerful, conscious creator and moving beyond adoption, this is where you're meant to be. If you're open-minded and curious about what I have to share, I welcome you on this journey today. Really, really happy to have you here. So, how to get the most out of this training is just to really be present, to take this time with me, to put your cell phone on vibrate or turn it off, really stay focused and stay present. Have some water, stay hydrated, have a pen and paper because we will be doing an exercise later on in our transformational work, and that will be helpful for you. It's important to park any old learnings that you've had around adoption, trauma, healing, anything like that, and really be open to some new ideas and concepts that I'm going to share with you today. Play full out and engage in the chat. And I understand this is a public forum, so if you're not able to do that, I totally understand, but have your pen and paper and play full out on your pen and paper if needed. Even if I'm asking to put yes or things in the chat, if you write them on your paper, that will go a long way for you. Take care of yourself as needed. We're all adults here, and I will stick around at the very end if you have any questions. So let's go ahead and set an intention for our time together today. And our intention is that you will receive the most information and benefit from this workshop so that you can begin living as the powerful creator that you were born to be. You're going to get a lot of really great information, new information potentially, and you're going to have a transformational experience if you choose to participate. And this is going to set you on a path of becoming a powerful creator. And that's what we were all born to be on this earth. Every single person came here to be a powerful creator, you included. So thanks for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time to be with me today. and I promise you will receive a lot of information. You are not broken. Adoption didn't break you. I know it feels like that. I know it feels as if there's parts of you that are missing. There's parts of you that are broken, and it may feel that this is something you just have to live with. And I promise you it's not. As an adoptee who has been doing this work for many, many years, you don't have to live this way. And I'm going to show you how you can begin your journey of stopping your past from being your future. So, my work here is to help you align with the truth of who you really are. And in that process, kind of think of me like a spiritual chiropractor, helping to align and adjust things for you so that you are in alignment and you are ready to be focusing yourself as a powerful creator. So you can utilize your energy, your focus, and your identity all together. Now, there's three things I'm going to be sharing in this workshop. The first is a little bit about my journey and how I discovered the truth of who I am. And within that, a few foundational aspects of the Moving Beyond Adoption system that I developed to help others discover the truth of who they are and become powerful creators, living a life that you're empowered with confidence and deep inner peace. Next, you'll experience a revolutionary transformational process called the Superconscious Recode, which helps you to release long-standing beliefs, feelings, and patterns about your adoption narrative and story, and install new beliefs, feelings, and patterns as a powerful creator to move you beyond adoption into your personal power. And last, I'll share how you can continue this work if you feel it's right for you. So if you're ready to begin your journey and discover the truth of who you really are, put I am in the chat. Awesome. Or you can write it on your paper. Awesome. Well, hi, my name is Kat Lindquist, and I am an adoptee as well as a member of the LGBTQ community. And for the past 10 years, I have been supporting, coaching, mentoring, teaching, and speaking with people around the world in marginalized communities about living their best authentic life. I'm an award-winning speaker, and I have over 40 years experience as a professional in child and human development and early childhood education with a focus on 0 to 3 development. In early 2020, I joined a cohort of the first 10 people in the United States to be certified as a magnetic mind coach. And over the last 10 years, I have spent thousands of dollars on my own personal development and education. And I truly believe that everyone deserves to have a coach or a mentor to support them along their journey. I could not have done this without having coaches, mentors, educators, teachers, people that I look to out in the world who could reflect back to me the different parts of the journey that I was on. And my aim and my desire is to be that for you. So having a coach and a mentor, I still have coaches and mentors in my life, and they are extremely important to me. And I feel I will always have a coach and a mentor in my life in some capacity, because it really benefits me as a powerful creator to surround myself with people who are like-minded. Now, as an adoptee, I have asked this question for most of my life. Who am I, really? Now, this is a question I'm sure every adoptee asks themselves, and yet it's also a question that general people ask themselves in that existential realm of looking for deeper meaning of self and purpose of life. Yet for adoptees, there's a profound experience in not knowing who we are physically as well as spiritually. Because of our life circumstances of being relinquished and removed from our biological families, there is a feeling of brokenness that many adoptees feel. Just as we call a divorced family a broken family, adoptees feel broken because of the separation from their biological lineage. That physical biological lineage and line has been broken. So if you can relate to this, type broken into the chat. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of us can relate to that feeling. Now, in contrast to this, I believe that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and that we all come from source energy and share this incredible journey we call life. This source connects us all together. And it's at that spiritual level, creating a oneness of spirit across billions of individuals of this source. So if you believe some variation of this concept, go ahead and put spirit in the chat or write it on your paper. Now, I didn't always know that I was a spiritual being having a human experience. I came to understand this is the essence of who I am about 10 years ago, at the beginning of my self-discovery journey, which, by the way, wasn't even focused on my adoption or finding my birth lineage or my birth family at all. I was really in that existential realm of who am I? And while I knew adoption played a role in that, it really wasn't my focus of how I was trying to figure out who I was. And I had lived most of my life in toxic and abusive relationships, always feeling like I didn't fit in or that I was accepted for who I am. Now, my life was spent people pleasing and shutting down my true nature and authenticity. I felt as if I was completely broken, like my life source was draining away, and eventually feeling completely numb and disconnected, as if I was the walking dead. It really was this feeling that I didn't exist. Like I was a body, but internally I had no idea who I was. I was just there to serve other people. I was there to be a puppet and manipulated by other people. And I really didn't know how to stand up for myself or even make my own decisions. It was a difficult place to be. After a lifetime of battling this toxicity, depression, and anxiety, and this deep feeling of powerlessness about living in narcissistic and mental and emotional abuse, at the age of 41, I had a stroke. It was one of the most powerful experiences of my life, and the only thing which woke me up to the reality that I was living in. Until the stroke, I just lived in a deep fog of acceptance about my life circumstances, never feeling I could change them. I just accepted it for what it was. Well, this is life. This is what it is. I don't know how to change it, so I just got to suck it up and live this way. But this wake-up call was what I needed to end a 25-year highly toxic and abusive marriage, and to save myself from living the rest of my life in a living hell or dying. Now, the first step was to move away from this painful life that I had been living and try to build something different. Sometimes this can be the most difficult step of all, is to accept that you are the only one who can change your life. Finding our biological family, having other people change for us, none of that actually changes you. It's about doing the inner work. And it took almost 3 years to the day of my stroke for me to finalize my divorce and finally beginning life again at the age of 44. And at that point, I had decided I was going to consume everything on personal development, metaphysics, law of attraction, meditation, trauma healing, and manifesting. I took workshops and courses, and I did a crazy amount of journaling and soul searching to understand my life and the painful circumstances I had experienced for so long, still not fully recognizing the role my adoption played in all of this. I began to challenge the beliefs I held about love, relationships, sexuality, money, success. I discovered many truths about myself and how I viewed these various aspects of life. And I began to feel a level of authenticity I had only dreamed of. And I began to live a life that reflected that authenticity. And yet I was still coming from this premise, which had been the foundation of my toxic and abusive relationships, that I was broken and I needed to fix myself, that there was somehow something inherently wrong with me. And I was just this weird, different person. And I had to somehow change that so that I could be normal. It kept me focused on the pain that I was trying to move away from, because everything was always focusing on, I'm trying to get away from this abuse. I'm trying to fix myself and heal myself from this abuse. Well, what am I focused on? I'm still focused on the abuse and the toxicity and the fact that I'm broken, rather than understanding what a powerful creator I really am. So if you have felt this way, either currently or in the past, if that you feel there's something broken about you and you need to fix it before you can feel peace, love, and wholeness, put a yes in the chat or on your paper. Well, after several years of engaging in a variety of modalities and activities, trying to fix myself, I was able to make some changes in my life about how I express my love, relationships, my sexuality. And I actually found a drive to become an entrepreneur and use my teaching talents to help others become the best version of themselves. Yet I could never quite make things move very far, and I would sabotage myself back into that safe and familiar pattern of work and relationships and self-doubt. It was only when I found the Magnetic Mind program in December of 2019 that everything began to really change for me. I learned I wasn't broken and that I'm truly a spiritual being having a human experience. We call this the meat suit. So there's that spiritual being that's inside that is the driver of the life that I choose to live. And yet the physical life is also there and present as well. And I'll explain that in a little bit. And I was able, through the work that I've done in being coached and then becoming a coach, that I was able to transform my adoption trauma into my personal power and embrace this powerful creator that I was born to be, and you were born to be as well. During one particular transformational session, I was able to release one of the biggest factors holding me back from finding my biological family. And that factor was that I felt I was a mistake and I should never have been born. I didn't even know I was carrying this belief around until it surfaced in the transformational experience. Now, during this session, my coach utilized a specific transformation process which allowed me to release this pain that I had carried my entire life. I was bawling and crying, and it was literally flowing out of me in tears and sobs and heavy breathing. And I just felt at the end of this, there was this torrent of tears that it came out in. And at the end of this 10-minute, 15-minute transformational experience, it was gone. It was completely gone. And it's been gone now for almost 4 years. I felt this huge weight was lifted off of me. And for the first time, I actually felt I could breathe. It was such a weird feeling that I felt like I had never taken a full breath before. And now I could finally breathe. And it took about 3 months for me to fully process and integrate that. along with other work that I began doing because that had cleared out. And after about 3 months, I decided it was time for me to go on the journey of finding my biological lineage and family. And through that process, it was a very quick process. I was fortunate, and I had some information that really helped me in my search. And I was able to find my birth family. And I reached out to my birth mother and to an aunt on my dad's side because he's deceased. And I'm happy to say that nearly 4 years later, we are building positive and connected relationships. And I've now actually met my birth mother and my aunt, and I'm building those connections. This transformational experience was so profound and powerful in making shifts and changes in my life that over time, I began to feel my purpose was to bring this work out into the world and share it with other adoptees who are struggling so much with the pain of feeling broken, rejected, and abandoned. Now, each of you has a purpose and reason to have experienced life the way you have. And it's time for you to release the pain and embrace the wisdom and purpose from these experiences to create the best life for yourself and those you love. Now, when I began working through the Magnetic Mind program, I learned how to frame my desires in a specific way. I chose to become a powerful creator. I chose to become the best version of myself. I choose to become whole, to feel whole and complete, and I choose to accept myself the way I am. So you'll notice that I'm not moving away from pain. I'm not saying I want to stop feeling rejected. I want to stop feeling pain. I want to heal myself from this trauma and this experience. It's all about framing what you want and where you want to go and who you want to be. And yet, in that experience, once you start to move your thinking and your perceptions and your words in that different direction, your identity starts to pop up and say, but I'm not that. That's not who I am. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of being a powerful creator. I'm not able to make my own decisions. I'm not capable of forging my own life path. I believed I was someone who couldn't handle the responsibility of making my own business and having the structure and discipline to follow through because I'd been taught that my whole life. I've been told I wasn't capable. I wasn't good enough. I just had to follow what other people told me. I had to follow the other life path. I had to do what people told me was good for me because I wasn't capable of making my own decisions. And in essence, I had to think, feel, and do what others told me so that I could belong to the family. Well, as adoptees, many of us struggle to live that authentic life of our own design because we feel broken and we don't know who we authentically are. We don't know, we don't have the stability and the groundedness of who we are. So how can we build a life based on who we are when we don't know who we are? If you can relate to this, put that in the chat as well. Put relate. Yeah. Now, if you're following along with your piece of paper, I want you to write this down. In this process of those things that I was choosing to be powerful, choosing to be the best version of myself, whole and complete, and accepting myself as I am, my identity was in conflict with my desires and choices. So write down identity is in conflict with desire and choice. And I'm going to show you what this looks like. I have a little chart here. So we have over here a desired reality. We call it a DR, desired reality. And in this desired reality, I wanted to be powerful. I wanted to be the best version of myself. And hopefully you can see all that. And I wanted to be whole and complete. Whole. And I wanted to be accepted. Now, over here in my current reality, this is what I'm experiencing right now. Okay. In my current reality, I said that I was a mistake. And I'm not capable. And I'm a pleaser. And I'm broken. All right. So these are the things that I believe, that I told myself. I'm also rejected. So I don't belong anywhere. I don't belong in my adopted family because I'm not biologically theirs. I don't belong to my biological family anymore because I'm not connected to them. So where am I? Who am I? How do I belong in all of this? It's no wonder that we feel broken, that we feel disconnected, that we feel alone in this world, because here we stand in between these two things. We're in between our current reality where we don't belong here, and we're in between the desired reality of what we want to feel, who we want to be, who we want to become, and yet we're in this no man's land. We're in this place where we're tied to this because this is what we know. This is the life we've experienced so far. This is what we've created from the circumstances that we were given. And yet we have this desire over here for something different. So what happens is when we want to move from our current reality into our desired reality, these things are part of our identity. So this identity is who I am. These are all the things of who I am. Now these things are tied together, right? So we have an identity and a current reality. When our identity says, I'm rejected, I'm broken, I have to please other people, I'm not capable, I was a mistake, the reality that I experience is based on the identity that I've created. And I'm only allowed to have so much in my current reality based on my identity. So the question becomes, how do we create an identity over here if we want our desired reality to be where we live? We have to have an identity that is tied into, I'm an accepted person and I am whole and complete. I belong. I'm accepted. I belong somewhere. I get to be the best version of who I am, and I get to know who I am. And I am a powerful creator. I'm not a mistake. I'm meant to be here. I'm powerful. How do we do this? Most people want to do the work, right? They want to do something, do, or take action, right? So a lot of times what adoptees do is we want to find our bio family. So the action that we take is to figure out who we are, the biology of who we are, in order to create that desired reality. Because I need to know who I am and I need to know where I belong in order to create an identity that's going to give me what I want. However, when we go for what we want in this way, when we look at we're trying to fix all of this by finding our biological family. We're trying to fix being a mistake and prove that we weren't a mistake. We're trying to show that I'm capable, that I became a capable adult. We're trying to please our biological family by showing, hey, I turned out okay. I'm alive and I'm here and this is who I am. We're trying to fix that part of us that feels broken. We're trying to bridge that gap by bringing ourselves back into connection with our biological family so that we can stop feeling rejected. This is why people go into reunion without doing the work down here. And even when you're doing a certain level of work, the level of work that you're doing, it's not providing you with the support and the structure that you need to actually create something over here. Now, we have no control over our biological family or how they're going to react or how they're going to respond. What we do have control over is how we approach our biological discovery and reunion, how we choose to feel about it, how we choose to engage with it, and how we choose to respond when others respond in a way that isn't the way that we hope they will. So through all of this, what we look at is we see ourselves here in the middle. And this identity over here makes everything personal. This identity takes all of this and internalizes this idea that I'm a mistake, that I'm not capable, that I'm broken, I have to please other people, I'm rejected. And they make it personal. This identity makes it personal and says it's about you. You were rejected. You are broken. You're not capable. And it tells us this story because this is what was created way back when we didn't have consciousness. We had to determine what happened in this experience for us to be separated from our biological family. And these are the stories that were created internally in order to describe to us what happened. Then we made it personal and we said, oh, this is about us. We were rejected. We had all these things because there was something inherently wrong with us. But I'm here to tell you that this is not personal. This is your spiritual being and it's not personal. This is a structure. This is a structure that has been built around who you are. And when we engage in this structure, this is where we are in the structure. We are engaging on this side. We want to move over here, and this is where we struggle. So I'm going to go a little deeper into how we created it being personal and how you can move away from it being personal as well. So keep this little image in mind. We're going to be referring back to it. All right. So as we go deeper into this alchemy of why that structure is so prevalent in your life, I'm going to share with you the 3 levels of consciousness. So up here, we have the superconscious. The superconscious is that spiritual being. This is our spiritual being. You can call it spirit, soul. You can call it intuition, source energy, the whole of who you are. whatever you want to call that, your God source, whatever you want to call that. That's the spiritual part of you, the non-tangible part of who you are. This part of us has no emotion and no judgment. It's just looking for experience. So it takes every human experience that we have and it perceives it on the same level. So it's going to perceive poverty and wealth in the same way. It's going to perceive health and disease in the same way. It's going to perceive pain and pleasure in the same way. So it will say, oh, you broke your leg. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, your leg is healed now. That's interesting. Oh, you lost all your money. You're poor. Interesting. Oh, you won the lottery. You have millions. Interesting. No emotion, no judgment. Everything just is. And this is the part that comes into our human experience, and we forget that this is who we are so that we can have the human experience and we can engage in the human experience. We forget that this is actually who we are. And part of our human journey is coming back into connection with our superconscious. Now, the next part is called our unconscious. Some people might call that our subconscious. This is the part of us that is all about our body systems. So everything in our body systems, it's the unconscious part. So it's our breathing, our heartbeat, our organs, our digestion. Everything in the body is run on the unconscious level. This is where a lot of our emotions live as well, is in that unconscious part, because for the first few years of life, we actually live in an unconscious state, even though we are alive and physical. And it takes a few years to come into the self-conscious, which is the next layer down here. But as we're in the unconscious, this is the part that is designed for balance and harmony. And its sole purpose, its biggest sole purpose, is to keep you safe and alive. Safe and alive. So as we're living in our unconscious state, especially in the first few years of life, when many people experience the biggest bulk of their adoption trauma, is in the first few years of life. This is where all of our adoption woundings and traumas get queued up, where we create the stories unconsciously of rejection, abandonment. We start to take it personally. And it looks upon these experiences. The unconscious says, oh, you had this experience. It was really, really painful, but yet you survived. So if you can survive that, I'm just going to look for more of that. So it's going to look for more of what is survivable. Now, if you survived toxic shame, if you survived being separated from your biological family, if you survived the feelings of being rejected, you survived the abuse that you experienced in your young childhood and potentially later on. But in those first few years, whatever you experienced, it says you survived, you didn't die. I'm going to look for more of that and create more of that because I know you'll survive it. And then it looks for a center point, a set point of what those experiences are. And it says, this is the set point of where your life is. Now, once we start to get a little older, between about the age of 4 and 5, and by the age of 7, we have solidified our self-conscious. Sometimes we call this the ego. And this part of us lives in polarity or duality. And it wants the good life. It has discernment and judgment. And it says, I'm going to follow the unconscious agenda because it's going to tell me what's good and what's bad, because it'll tell me what's survivable, and it will tell me what is unknown. And especially in the world of adoptees, we have so much that is unknown, and that unknown feels unsafe. I know from my own experience, it took me 50 years before I started searching for my biological family because of that unknown feeling. And it felt scary. So in here, we're looking at bad and good. So we want the bad, we want to avoid the bad, which is the unknown, and we want the good, which is known. Now, when we look at alchemy, alchemy is the study of, how things work. So in looking at how things work, we have elements of consciousness here. They're all similar elements of consciousness. They're arranged in different ways. So if we take the element of water and we use that as our analogy, the self-conscious is like ice. It's pretty solidified. It's solid. It's where we live the majority of our life. And the majority of where we live our life is in this pretty narrow range. Now, that range is determined by the set point in our unconscious. So ice is very difficult to break up. Once it's solidified, it's there, and it's hard to change it if you're focused on the ice itself. The unconscious is a water. It's the level of water where it can be changed, but it likes structure. So if water is flowing down a hill, it's going to take the path of least resistance. And water seeks a structure so that it can flow more efficiently, which is why it creates rivers and riverbanks. As it's flowing, it wants to find the path of least resistance, and it will carve that out so that it can flow the most efficiently. That's our unconscious. At the superconscious level, we are at vapor. So we have vapor. This is very ethereal. It moves very flowing. There is very little structure at the superconscious level. It is that spiritual part of us, that energetic part of us. And while certainly it has laws of structure, it's less structured than these aspects here. So we are looking at three different elements arranged in the same elements arranged in three different ways. So we have the self-conscious, the unconscious, and the superconscious. Now, how this plays out is at the superconscious level, we bring with us this idea of all knowing, all seeing, all experiencing. Everything is good. Everything really is good up here. There is no bad. There's no good and bad. Everything just is. So whatever it is, it's fine. It has no discernment. The broken leg or the healed leg, the cancer or the non-cancer, the adoption, the non-adoption. It has no judgment. It is what it is. And it's okay with whatever it is. Then we bring it down into the unconscious, safe and alive. This is the set point. Now we have a range of motion in this set point between good and bad. This is called our comfort zone. So we tend to have a comfort zone of how much good we experience in our life and how much bad we experience in our life. Now, sometimes things, this pendulum starts to move, right? And we tend to kind of move back and forth. Oh, I got a bonus at work. Oh, the water heater went out. I had to spend my bonus fixing the water heater. Oh, I got a new job. Oh, but it's now my boss is just like my old boss. Oh, I have this pendulum back and forth. We have things that come in that feel good, but then we kind of swing back and it kind of equalizes back and forth. Oh, well, we take the good with the bad, right? This is what we live in our human experience. Now, sometimes we hit what we call rock bottom, which means we swing way out here into a really bad situation. We'll spiral out into a bad situation. And sometimes we'll swing the other way and we'll spiral out into good fortune. And yet, what these generally want to do is meet in the middle. And the majority of our life is lived in this little space right here. And I'm hoping you can see that here. This little space right here, which is where we tend to live a majority of our life, right? So with all of this information, our adoption is part of this structure. And where we're currently sitting in our adoption narrative, our feelings, our thoughts are all determined at this level right here. The unconscious said, oh, I'm looking for things that are more survivable. You survived all those things when you were little, so this is going to be where you live. And I see it all the time in the posts that I read in Facebook, and I'm in multiple adoption groups, and I hear the same little box of comfort zone that a lot of people are living in. And it's because of this structure and the structure before, where you are in your current reality because of your identity, which is all part here of your unconscious. So the work that most methodologies and modalities try to do is work either at the self-conscious level or at the unconscious level. Now, these two areas really don't want to do the work. The self-conscious wants the good life. It wants to go over here, but if I have to kind of go in and face the bad, I don't really want to do that. I want the good life. I want this. If I have to go here, okay, it's going to be a struggle because I really don't want to face the bad stuff. I don't really want to look at the bad stuff. I don't want to necessarily feel all the bad stuff. So, I'm going to resist. There's going to be some resistance here. The unconscious is actually going to give you more resistance. And the reason the unconscious gives you more resistance is because it knows what you've survived. It knows what you've already been through. And now you're asking it to go into a place that is unknown. And it looks at that unknown and says, I'm not going there. I am definitely not going there. That's more scary than the toxic shame. That's more scary than the abuse. That's more scary than the rejection, because I already know what that feels like. I already know what rejection and abandonment and feeling broken is all about. I don't know what joy and happiness are all about. I don't know what it feels like to feel whole and complete. That looks freaking scary. I don't want to go there. So the work that I do is to take people up to the superconscious level. And we do the transformative work at the superconscious level. Because up here, again, there's no judgment, there's no emotion. it looks at all of this down here and says, okay, that's interesting. So we go up here and we say, superconscious, do you see this pain that we're experiencing here? Do you see the beliefs that are creating this pain? It goes, yeah, I see that. We ask it to change. We say, superconscious, can you please change that belief from I'm rejected to I'm a powerful creator? And it goes, oh, that's what you want to do? Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Then when we do that change work up here, we then bring it down in the process to our unconscious level to give the unconscious new instructions that we're no longer looking at ourselves as being rejected and abandoned and broken. We're looking at ourselves as a powerful creator. We're looking at ourselves as whole and complete. We're looking at ourselves as being the best version of our authentic self. And then we tell the unconscious, okay, unconscious, we're going to let go of that pain. And it's okay. When it comes to the superconscious, the unconscious is willing to listen. And it will say, okay, I'll believe you. I'll see that this is going to be safe. We're going to adopt this new instruction that we're going to, from now on, live our life in this manner. Then we bring it down into the self-conscious, where we start to take action based on those new instructions that were given by the superconscious. This is all about creating a new structure. Now, don't get me wrong, that your adoption trauma doesn't disappear. You don't forget the things that happened. What we do is we take away the pain and we remove the pain. We accept the wisdom from the experience and we integrate all of that into being whole and complete. Remember, the unconscious is seeking balance and harmony. It wants harmony and balance so that it can hold the set point of your life. And what we're actually doing is we are changing the set point of your life so that this moves over here towards the good section that you want. And now you're going to have a different comfort zone where you're over here rather than where you are now. This is where you get to start living the truth of who you really are. And I want you to understand that whatever you experienced in that first 7 years of life, that is what's driving your life right now. All your experiences, all your unconscious storytelling narratives, your unconscious had to make a decision about how the world was and what the world was like in the first 5 years of life. And that narrative, that story, that set of beliefs is what drives most adults today, whether we're adopted or not. And how many times have you looked at someone and go, oh my God, they're acting like a 5-year-old? This is why. This is why. Because we are actually acting like 5-year-olds. Because those are the beliefs that were set at this point in time. And we've just adopted that. We've just gotten good at flowing in our comfort zone and finding the section within our comfort zone of where we're going to live. And I can tell you, before I started Magnetic Mind, before I started this journey, my comfort zone was living with toxic pain, was living with trauma and experiences that I didn't even know. Like I said, I didn't even know I was carrying around that concept that I was a mistake and that I should never have been born. But that was one of the drivers of this section here in the unconscious that was creating the life that I was stuck in a toxic, abusive marriage. And even when I stepped out of that and I spiraled out and tried to make good, slowly, even though I came back, I didn't come back to my full set point. My set point still was within that comfort zone that I was still a mistake and I was still broken and I still needed to be fixed. And it wasn't until the transformational work through magnetic mind that I was actually able to shift my set point. And in shifting my set point, I now have a different comfort zone. And I am definitely not willing to go back and live in toxic, abusive relationships. And I've had some experiences in new relationships that started to move in that direction. And I was able to stop myself and to remove myself from those relationships so that I stayed in my new set point. So I know that's a lot. This is a lot to take in. And the biggest piece I want you to get out of all of this is that it's all about structure. It is not personal. This is not about you being rejected as a person. This is about you experiencing this circumstance of life that caused you to tell you that you were rejected. And it's very interesting because I'm now in reunion with my birth mother and I'm learning about my origin story and some of the feelings that she was having and the experiences that she had. And for her, it was a choice made more by her parents than by her. And in order for her parents to deal with the situation that their daughter was having, which impacted them because they made it personal, they made it about them and their position and role in society, that she would not be allowed to keep her child. It was not something at the time that I was born in the late 60s that was accepted. So there were things put in place so that she went away. She gave me up for adoption and then literally moved on in her life as if I didn't exist. And so there's this experience that she had that wasn't necessarily her choice. She wasn't allowed really to make the choice. She was basically told what she had to do. And then I come along in my life experience and I say, well, I was rejected. I made it personal about me too, because that's what we do as human beings, right? This is the self-conscious, the unconscious. This is our humanness right here. This is our non-humanness. This is our spirit. This is our energy. The energy doesn't take it personally, but we as human beings do. Now you're an adult. Now you're at a place where you get to choose if you want to continue to make this personal. You want to continue to live feeling broken and feeling the effects and the impact of your trauma and your abuse. Or you can choose to become a powerful creator, and you can choose to create the design and the trajectory of your life. You are not broken. Adoption didn't break you. It didn't break you, the superconscious you. It created circumstances in your life that disconnected you from your biological lineage and family. But you are whole and complete. You are beautiful and perfect, exactly as you are. And you've experienced a lot of trauma. And now you get to choose whether you allow that trauma to continue being the driver of your life, being the set point of your life, or not. And this is what I'm here to help you do. And this is what the Moving Beyond Adoption 3-step system does, is it helps you to move beyond adoption, literally move beyond adoption in our 3 steps. The first step is reframe your mind. And I've been helping you do that today by showing you the structures that are in place. So we have to learn how to view adoption and see adoption from this structural viewpoint. We learn how to create new values that are truly coming from us. We create a new set of choices of how you want to live your life, and you choose intentional outcomes and utilize specific tools that keep you focused on how you are going to live your life. You are the driver of your life. Your trauma does not have to drive your life any longer. So we take step 1 and we do the foundational work, and we reframe your mind and the concepts that you have around your adoption. The second step is transform your heart. And this is where we do that super conscious level work. We do the transformational work to release that pain, to release all of the trauma-based structure that is holding you in the pattern that you're living, so that you can be aligned with that new reframing that you've just done about your true choices, your values, your outcomes, your intentions. We use a variety of transformational techniques that allow you to let go of this pain, to give the unconscious new instructions. It's like updating your old computer. If you're still working on the old operating system, your computer is going to slow down. It's going to not function as well. You're not going to be up into the latest and greatest new things that are happening and how you can work better and smarter. This is what we do internally. We upgrade your operating system. And the third step is to liberate your soul. And this is where you embody those 2 steps. You've reframed your mind. You continue to reframe your mind over and over and over and over again. You continue to transform your heart over and over and over and over again. Remember, life as a human being is a journey. There is no destination. It's not like getting a degree where you get your college degree and now you're done. No, that's actually just the beginning, because then you take what you've learned and you apply it and you expand upon it. And then you continue to learn, you continue to grow, you continue to use and improve everything that you have learned from the past. You continue to bring forward and grow and more. This is liberating your soul. Your soul, you get to be, do, and have all that you have chosen to create, because you continue to do the internal work. And one of the Hermetic principles is as above, so below. As above at the superconscious level, so below at the self-conscious level. The work that we do, the internal work that we do at the superconscious level, must then manifest itself in the real world, in how you think, in how you feel, in how you behave. And that is what moves you beyond adoption. So I just want to check in really quick and see how everybody's doing. I feel like I've gone a little over time today. No, we're doing all right. We're a little bit later, but that's all right. I'm having fun. I hope you're having fun too. Oh, I just lost my notes. Awesome. Come back here. This. And this. There we go. Awesome. So we're going to get into the part of our process that is called the superconscious recode. This is the transformational experience. So this is where I want you to have your pen and paper, your notepad, your pen and paper. And we're going to go into a transformational process that is going to help you let go of some of what's holding you back from becoming the powerful creator that you were born to be. And if this is something that you really want to experience, then I ask you to play full out. Even if you're watching the replay, really play full out in this and engage yourself as if this was live, because it works just as well either way. I have done many, many, many of my recodes and my transformational experiences with my coach on video replays, and I have just as much, if not better, outcomes than if I had done it live. So even if you're watching this on the replay, you're going to get the benefits that are part of the experience. Now, if you choose not to engage in the experience at this time, you can watch the experience and you will not receive any of the benefits and it will not be connected to you. You can then go back and watch the transformational experience and engage with it if you feel that you're ready to experience it. So this is something you can come back to and listen to over and over and over again. And I can tell you, there are times where I listen to the same experiences, the same coaching workshops that my coach does, because I get so much out of it. And each time I listen to it, I get something more out of it because I'm at a different level and a different place. And I do the same with books. I read certain books over and over and over again because the information that they have will speak to me at whatever level I'm at the time that I'm reading it. And after I've done some personal growth, I go back and read it again and I see it through new eyes and new experiences, and I gain even more insight out of it. And I hope that that's what this experience will be for you, is it's something that you can continue to come back to, watch the videos, watch, the series of videos. Each video that I do live is unique. So it has all of the same elements. It has a lot of the same language. And yet each of the transformational experiences is completely unique because of the energy field that I'm tapping into at the moment. So in this structure, we have in our Moving Beyond Adoption program, we offer what's called the 4 core orientations. And these 4 core orientations are part of the Reframe Your Mind and Liberate Your Heart. These are the 4 aspects that once we kind of solidify these as our new set point, that is when we can really begin to create the details of our lives in a different way. And these 4 core orientations are: I choose the end result of living a life I love, of having health and vitality, living my true nature and purpose, and being the predominant creative force in my life. So today I'm choosing for us to focus on being the predominant creative force in my life, or being a powerful creator. It's another way to say that, to be a powerful creator in my life. Now, that doesn't mean that you're the only creator in your life. We live in a society. We live with other people energetically around us, people in our homes, people in our communities, people in our work, people out in the world. And there's also experiences that we have that are, sometimes they're random, sometimes they're energetically connected to us. And there are experiences that we have that are more focused from a force outside of us rather than within us. But the biggest piece is that as the powerful creator, whatever circumstances or experiences that we are having, we still have the power to choose how we engage and how we respond to that outside circumstance and experience that's happening. That's the biggest piece. So we are taking back our power. We are becoming the powerful creator. And so for a moment, I'd like you to just sit in a very comfortable place. And this works best if you're in a place where there's no distractions or very minimal distractions, pets, people coming in and out, lots of loud noises, things like that. Works best if you can be in a quiet place. And if you can't, we just do our best. And that's all good. So go ahead and close your eyes. And I follow along with you. So if you're watching the video, you'll see that I close my eyes. And I want you to feel into your heart. And as you start to feel into your heart, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth, and allow your body to relax. And I want you in your heart to feel what it feels like to be a powerful creator, to know that you have the power to choose your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. Your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. Actions include words, deeds, tasks. Feel into what it feels like. If you're having trouble feeling what it feels like to be a powerful creator, to be able to make those kinds of decisions about how you think, how you feel, and how you act, I'd like you to tune into some imagination and imagine yourself as a character. See yourself maybe as a character outside of you, and put those aspects into that character, that avatar that's outside of you, and see that version of you that is powerful. See that version of you that is capable of being in control of thoughts, feelings, and actions. That you are the predominant creative force in your life. That whatever's happening around you, you are able to be the one that chooses your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions, no matter what's happening, no matter what other people say, no matter what other people project upon you. You get to decide how you're going to allow outside circumstances, events, experiences to impact you. Maybe imagine a force field around you. Imagine yourself in this bubble of light. Take that energy that's in your heart and expand it out around you. And create this force field around you. And that whatever's coming into you is like bouncing off of it. Okay? Imagine, things flying in and they're just bouncing off this force field. Because you are the powerful creator of your own life. You are the one who chooses for yourself thoughts, feelings, actions. Feels nice and warm. Feels good. Grounded. Easy. Calming. There's clarity. There's confidence. There's a knowing. There's a knowing that no matter what, I am me. And I'm not at the whim of other people's thoughts, feelings, and actions. Now open your eyes, come back. Write on your paper some words about how that felt. Yeah, did you allow yourself to be powerful? Maybe share some words in the chat if you're up for that. If not, just in your paper. Great. So now compared to that, I'm going to come back actually to this. So that was this, right? So we were being a powerful creator. So, what is it like now? What are some of the things that you're feeling now? Maybe it's some of these things that we listed before. Maybe there's some other things, but we're setting up this tension, right? This tension between, this is where you are, you're in the middle, you're feeling this pull between these two things, right? So you want to be powerful, but now you're feeling these things and you see yourself as these things. So what is the resistance that is stopping you in here from moving over here, right? So part of this experience is we're going to look at the resistance. And resistance looks like our beliefs. So if you believe that you were rejected, right? So what would someone have to believe about adoption or about anything in order to feel rejected? Well, first I'd have to believe that I could be rejected, right? And then next, I'd have to believe that the other party had intent to make me feel rejected. Right? So, what are some other beliefs that you have around being broken or feeling like a mistake or not being capable? What would someone have to believe that they're not capable? I'd have to believe that I'm stupid, right? I'd have to believe that um, I'm not worthy potentially. Maybe I'm not capable because um, I don't have enough knowledge. Maybe I'm unskilled. What is the belief, right? That I'm not capable of forming healthy, positive relationships because I'm broken. I was rejected. I I don't know how to belong in relationship structures because I'm disconnected from my biological family. I don't feel connected to my adopted family. So I don't know how, right? There's a level of knowledge that is missing. So what are some of these beliefs that you have about yourself, about being a powerful creator? And then what are some beliefs you have about others? Well, again, here's one about others, that the other party had the intent to make me feel rejected. Was that their intention? Was that their specific intention, was to give you up so that you would feel rejected? Was that their intention? Do you believe that was their intention? What do you believe about being a powerful creator? It's not possible. Maybe it's not possible for an adoptee to be a powerful creator. Maybe it's not possible to let go of my pain. Maybe I'm destined to be broken the rest of my life. Are these beliefs that are holding you back? I hear a lot of people in these Facebook adoption groups that say, I just have to live the rest of my life with this. I have to live the rest of my life being broken, feeling pain, being rejected. No, 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 no. What we do have to live with is the fact that we were adopted. That cannot change. However, we do not have to live with the trauma of being adopted for the rest of our lives. That we can change. That is possible to change. And I and living proof sitting here right now, this moment, whenever you're watching this, that it is possible to let go of your pain. It is possible to not feel broken any longer. It is possible to let go of feeling like you were a mistake. It is possible to reconnect with yourself, whether you reconnect with your biological lineage or not. It is possible to allow the experience of adoption to move beyond you personally and become a circumstance of your life that you experienced. However, now as an adult, you're coming back into being that super conscious part of you. And when we engage and integrate that super conscious part of us, we can let go of things that are no longer serving us. So now that we've written all this out, I'd like you to draw like a big circle around it, like a big bubble, and give yourself a number. 0 is, none of this really matters. I'm flowing. I'm a powerful creator. None of this really means anything at all. Or 10 is, I am mired in this. Like this is like a bog and I'm just stuck in it and I can't move and I'm totally stuck. I can't go anywhere. 5 would be, I'm in the middle of the river. It's now a river. It's not a bog. It's a river and it's flowing and it's kind of impeding my progress. I can make some progress, but it's slow and it's hard. So on a scale of 1 to 10, give yourself a number. This number is just for you. It's not in comparison to anybody else, so that you can see where you are at the beginning of the process and then at the end of the process. So now we're going to move into the process. Now that you've kind of gone through all of this, you've unpacked some things, you've brought some things to the surface, and now we're going to go into the process. We're going to allow the superconscious to create a new set of instructions for your unconscious and your self-conscious. So if you're going to follow along, I'd like you to go ahead and close your eyes, relax for a moment, and in your heart and in your mind, give me, Kat Lindquist, permission to connect to your superconscious. I cannot connect to you. I cannot do any transformational work without your consent, without your engagement. So if you can choose to participate in this process or not. If you're not participating and you don't give me permission, then what the words that I say will not be impacting you. If you choose to participate in this process, as you close your eyes, you give me permission. I will be connecting to you at the superconscious level. It's a field of information that anyone can connect into at any time, and we can connect together when we have permission. And I can give your superconscious some new instructions of how to create more satisfaction and less pain in your life experience. So go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Give me permission to connect to your superconscious. I give Kat Lindquist permission to connect to my superconscious to create more satisfaction and less pain. I'm going to speak to your superconscious as if it was a person, and I'm going to give it a metaphor for it to understand the treatment process of how we create change at the superconscious level. Superconscious, are you there? Yes. Superconscious, I'd like you to see treatment as a football field, this big playing field, and the person is at one end and their desire to be a powerful creator is at the other end. And as this person is looking across the playing field, all the resistance that was brought up and any other resistance that is now coming to the surface is popping up like gopher holes, creating these mounds of dirt in a particular sequence all across the playing field. Superconscious, do you see all this resistance popping up, and do you see the sequence of which it's popping up? Superconscious, I'd like you to see this and create a treatment plan And please treat and do a massive change history, and everything is needed to remove the gophers from creating any more resistance, and to take a feather and very gently, in the perfect order, in the perfect way, to sweep all that dirt back into each hole very gently, very smoothly, so that the playing field is all smoothed over again, and it's very easy for the person to move across the playing field and into becoming a powerful creator. Superconscious, do you understand this metaphor as the process for how to do this work? Yes. Superconscious, are there any parts today that are experiencing resistance and that are afraid of treatment? Yes. Superconscious, can you please share with the parts that are feeling afraid, that don't want to participate, the benefits of treatment, that they will receive information that the self-conscious is hiding, that they will not die, that their knowledge, their information, their experiences are valuable, that what we are going to do is to release the pain that is holding them chained to that experience in a way that causes them not to move forward. And that by releasing the pain, we can integrate the wisdom from the experience into the main personality so that everyone can move forward together. Superconscious, do these parts understand that they are needed, they are wanted, they are loved, and that they're not going to be cast away, they're not going to be rejected. In fact, they're going to be integrated and brought closer into the main personality. Superconscious, are they ready to participate? Yes, beautiful. Superconscious, please treat all part-time personalities, including the wounded inner child, the protector controller, the people pleaser, the sentry, the guard, that deeply wounded child. Superconscious, please treat in the perfect order, in the perfect way, with love and compassion and respect, and allow all of these different parts to let go as much as they're ready to let go today. That will be easy, and allow them to feel a new level of peace, a new level of confidence, a new level of personal power that they were unable to have before. Superconscious, please treat all family DNA lines, mother and father side, all the way back through the generations. Please find the original event on both timelines that have contributed to feelings of rejection, abandonment, feelings of disappointment, and feelings that they don't belong, feelings of outcast, black sheep. Superconscious, you see the chasm. There's a very deep chasm. It's on both lines, where there's an ancestor who was rejected, like deeply rejected. Superconscious, can you please go to each of those ancestors and help these ancestors see that this deep chasm that they're experiencing from their loved ones, they are passing down into each generation. And as they pass it down, that chasm is getting wider and wider and wider. Superconscious, I'm going to ask these ancestors to see that they have passed down this chasm and this gap and this hole that is keeping them separated from their families. from their loved ones and from themselves. Superconscious, please treat each of these ancestors in the perfect order, in the perfect way, doing a full superconscious recode to close that gap, for them to release the pain, the sorrow, the grief, the despair, the anxiety, that feeling of abandonment, and to offer forgiveness for whatever happened to themselves and to others, for whatever caused that chasm. Superconscious, please do a full superconscious recode, treat and do a massive change history, and everything is needed. Thank you. This is a big one. It's a really big one. Superconscious, can you see that through closing the gap at this level, that I'd like for this ancestor to look forward and down into the generations that they have produced. And I would like for them to send to each of the generations after them the ability to close the gap, to pass on that they were able now in this moment to close the gap through the love, the forgiveness for self and others, to release the pain that's no longer serving them. Superconscious, please pass that down generation to generation. And with each generation that the gap has widened, I'd like you to send an additional level of superconscious recode to close the gaps, the ever widening gaps, close them up. Superconscious, please treat, do a massive change history, and everything is needed all the way through this DNA line, both sides, down to the person who is listening to this today, in this moment. And the gap that they are feeling has narrowed or has closed completely. That there's a level of forgiveness, there's a level of letting go of the grief, the uncertainty, the unknowing, the level of pain and sorrow and anger. Letting go of the anger, the feeling of injustice, the feeling of, I didn't ask for this. Why did I receive this when I didn't ask for this? What did I do to deserve this? Superconscious, please treat the feeling of what did I do to deserve this, and change this into, it's an experience I've had, and I can release the pain of this experience, and it no longer is a driving force in my life. Superconscious, please see that by becoming a powerful creator, it means to release and let go of the driving forces that have been outside you, the driving forces of the adoption trauma, the driving forces of the pain that has been brought down through epigenetics, through both mother and father experiences, whether they knew of the adoption or not. Superconscious, please treat all of this, put a big bubble around it, and do a massive change history, and everything is needed to release all of these emotions and replace them with forgiveness, with love, with clarity, confidence, with joy, that I'm alive, that I am here, and I am now choosing to be a powerful creator. That from this moment forward, I get to choose. I get to be. I get to live life as I want it to be. Superconscious, do a full superconscious recode and reinforce this new belief and feeling and perspective. Breathe that out. Cry it out if you need to. Superconscious, please treat secondary intentions and broken promises. Please treat the sentence procedure. I am a powerful creator. I choose to be a powerful creator. I live every day as a powerful creator. Being a powerful creator is who I am. Superconscious, please remove all resistance from these statements until they are felt with complete confidence and clarity in the heart, mind, and body. Superconscious, please ground all the memories we have touched today, including memories 1, 2, and 3, tandem memories, shadow memories, quantum experiences in this lifeline, and all lifelines connected in with this person. Please bind and connect all aspects back into the matrix of the universe and reinforce all new instructions, beliefs, ideas, concepts with truth, with confidence, with love and clarity and a peacefulness, knowing that you are a powerful creator and it's time for you to choose. It's time for you to be. It's time for you to love you and choose for you. I love you so much. When you're ready, come back and open your eyes. Oh, wow, that was really, really powerful. So take a breath. As you're coming back into that, think about your rating, where you were. Feel into a number now. It's probably a lower number. And even if it's a small, lower number, if you were at an 8 and it's now a 7, that just means there's a lot shifting. There's a lot to move. And you were able to release what was able to be safely and easily released today, which is what we asked. So now when we do a superconscious recode, the final step is to choose an action to take. Now that action may be doing some journaling and journaling about this experience and what you're feeling different now, what images came up for you, what feelings came up for you, and to be able to see them and explore them from that place where you're not looking at it personally, you're not taking it personally, you're not judging yourself for what you're feeling, thinking, believing, or acting upon. That would actually be a really great step. Or maybe there's other actions that you're feeling compelled to take now that you have released some of this pain and some of these beliefs that you were holding on to that are no longer impacting you anymore. So write that down on your piece of paper and follow through and take action. Follow through with it and see what it feels like. So in these final moments, because I know I'm a little bit over time today, I've really been trying to keep this right at about hour 30. But I just want to take a few moments to share a little bit about the Moving Beyond Adoption Masterclass. It's a 12-month journey that provides you with the information, tools, transformation, and support that you need to truly move yourself beyond adoption and create that new set point for yourself. As we said back here, you want to create that new set point so that you can be moving your comfort zone and living your life in a new way and really being that powerful creator. Now, this masterclass, you'll receive 2 one-hour sessions a week. One is focused on transformation, and such as the Superconscious Recode that we did today. And another is a group coaching program to help you stay focused on being that predominant creative force in your life, that powerful creator. Now, right now, I'm just sharing about this. I'm not selling this right now, but if if what you hear interests you, then I'm going to invite you to have a call with me so that we can talk more about what you're looking for and if this is a good fit for you. So in the masterclass, you'll also receive a downloadable workbook that keeps you focused. We'll do a deep dive session once a month where we go a couple of hours into a particular process. And you get to really also connect with the community that we're going to build through the Moving Beyond Adoption Masterclass. And as a bonus, you're going to get my course, A Transformational Guide to Biological Discovery, Closing the Gaps of the Unknown. And if you sign up right now, I'm doing a special by January 31st, 2024. You'll also receive a lifetime access to the ongoing masterclass sessions after your paid year. So that's basically a lifetime of live masterclass sessions and all the masterclass has to offer for 1 year of payment. It's really important to me that as many people as possible have access to this unique and revolutionary program, and I want to make it easy for you to say yes. So while this program is worth well over $5,000, you're not going to be paying that much. Right now, my inaugural launch price is $1,795 for the 12-month program. That's about $150 a month when you pay for the year in full. And if you choose to do a monthly price, a monthly payment, it's $170 a month. Now, remember, that's 2 60-minute sessions a week, a downloadable workbook, a 3-hour deep dive session monthly, lifetime access to recordings, the biological discovery course, and lifetime access to the masterclass. Now, this work truly is transformational. And if you experienced a transformation today, this is truly the tip of the iceberg. I do offer a 14-day money-back guarantee, so there's really no reason not to give it a go. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, then I'm inviting you to a free 45-minute session with me where you get to explore yourself. And self stands for super conscious, easy, liberated, and fun, where we get to talk more about moving beyond adoption, what your desires are, and see if we're a good fit to work together. And I'll also give you a quick in-the-moment process where you can use it to reduce overwhelm and stop your brain from spinning out when you're feeling overwhelmed in situations. It's a wonderful process, and it's something you can easily stop and do. It takes just like 2 minutes to do, and you can bring yourself back into calm and clarity. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to pop this into the chat here. Oh, here we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. So there is my my book Like a Boss. You can go in and you can schedule a time with me so that we can meet. And if this resonates with you, I hope that you'll consider taking action so that by this time next year, you're going to be in a completely different place than where you are right now. And if this hasn't resonated with you, I do hope that you've received some benefit from this. And feel free to pass it on to someone that you think might benefit from it. So as always, thank you so much for being here. If I resonate with you, then please like this video, subscribe, check out my other videos. I'm trying to put more on this channel as things come up. And definitely in the new year, in January of 2024, more will be coming to the channel. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.